and then we'll talk about your stuff. All right. Where is the other side of this paper? Okay, here we go. All right, so here is a problem. Does this look like something you might have worked on this week?
Hmm. Kinda. I
This,
don't.
so there are four types of function operations to start with: add, subtract, multiply, and divide.
Okay.
We're just going to go through them in order here. So this is h of 10 plus g of 10. So they give you two functions, h and g in this case. They could give you, the letters aren't important. They could give you really anything. And then you have to determine h of 10 and g of 10, which you get from putting those into the given functions up here. Could you try calculating h of 10 and g of 10 for us, please?
Yeah. So h of 10 is 33.
Okay.
And g of 10 is negative 39.
Okay. So now the next step is to take those two results and put them in for h of 10 and g of 10.
So negative 6.
-6. Very good. Okay, so it seems like you definitely understand that based on one problem.
Yeah.
But let's put another one in front of you. Let's see if there's continued understanding. So this is f of 4 minus g of 4. Could you give this a try for us, please?
Yeah. So f of 4 is 13.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. So let me write that down. 13 minus 16. What is it? 64 plus 8. So 13 minus 72.
Okay. What does that become?
Negative 59.
Okay, very good. So the only thing that I think could potentially pose a problem for you based on what I'm seeing right now is with some signs, some different, understanding how to evaluate with different signs. So let me put another problem up in front of you. We will get to your worksheet at some point here. Is this readable? This is x squared. This is x minus 1 minus 2x. Could you find g of -1 for me, please? Just g of -1.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that I'm gonna think that the negatives cancel out here, so it would just be 1.
All right, so let me give you some more information then. V of x can be written this way. Basically, the variable is in parentheses, which means when you substitute in your number, it's going in parentheses.
Okay. Okay, okay, I get it. So negative 1 to. So it would be -1 minus 1 then, right?
Okay, keep going.
Okay. Um, and the x is -1, right?
X is -1, yes.
Okay, so yeah, -1 to. So -1, so it'll be -2. I'm just writing this down.
So now it's like order of operations. It's like you know, making sure you remember
Uh,
the correct order to to evaluate it in.
So then the parentheses.
You know,
Wait.
multiply before you subtract or add.
So I think it would be +2. It would be 0.
Does appear to be 0. Okay. Calculate g of -2 for me, please.
Okay. Um, G of -2. Oh, wait, that's it. Okay, so 4. So -4 minus 1 plus 4. -1.
Okay, so it's -2 squared minus 1 minus 2 times -2 does become
Yeah.
-1. Good. Okay,
Okay.
so if you've got that down, feels like you kind of do. Let's continue. Like I said, there's 4 function operations that you could be asked to find: add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So I want you to find f of -1 times g of -1.
Okay. Um, 3 times -1. -3. So -4 times. So times 2. -8 is the answer.
Okay, give me g of -1. What was the first part? Or, I'm sorry,
Okay.
f of -1.
Yeah,
Sorry.
f of -1. So -3. So -1 times 3 is -3. Plus 1 is -4.
Isn't that a -1 though? Well, you got the right. You just said the right answer. Yeah, it's -4. Okay, times what's g of -1?
So -1 times -1 is 1, and then minus -1 cancels, so it's just -1 plus 1, which is 0. Wait a minute. How did
Are
I?
you writing
What
this
the?
out or just trying to do it
Oh yeah, I
mentally?
did. Why did I? Why did I say that? Negative. I didn't. I just didn't write it out very clearly.
Okay.
-1 times -1 is 1 minus 1, so 1 minus -1, which is 2. I can't. I said I can't. It canceled out the wrong way on accident.
So this is the final answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Okay. Let's try another one. I'm going to just modify a little bit. Okay. Let's pretend like there's a 2 there in that one. Okay. So it's 2a squared. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And I want you to find g times h of -1. Okay. Now this notation, this dot that's filled in, that's a little smaller, means g of -1 times h of -1.
Okay.
So you have to find g of -1 and then h of -1. When it's a square, it still means you square first, then multiply.
Okay. G of -1. Okay, so -1. 1, 2. So g of -1 is 1 times -3 minus times -6. So g times h is -6, and then do you multiply that by -1?
Well, did you what you said all the right things, but I don't think your final answer is. I'm not sure what your final answer is. Like, let's say I only was going to grade what was going to go in this box. What would you put in there?
-6.
Okay, so g of -1 is 1. This part is 1. Maybe I should write it underneath. And then that is -6. So yes, that is correct. Good job. You seem uncertain, which I don't fully
No,
understand.
it's just the part that you wrote threw me off because I saw, like, I'm looking at the g times h times -1.
I see. So
I
th
was
this
like,
is
okay,
notation. Okay, then we need to talk about that. Um, so if I asked you to find like f plus g of 3, this really means f of 3 plus g of 3, but both notations are correct.
okay,
Same with subtracting. Let's say it's f minus g of 2. This is f of 2 minus g of 2. The order matters.
okay,
Let's say it's f dot g for multiplication of -1. This means f of -1 times g of -1.
okay,
And then the other one you'll see f over g of, let's just say 0, means f of 0 divided by g of 0.
okay.
Feels like you've never seen this before or really like wasn't explained well. What's your like, how do you feel like, did you have you seen this? Did the instructor not make that clear?
Yeah, the instructor just never really, like, I guess, explained what this meant. I don't know.
Yeah, and
And
I'm
then
not
this
being critical of you. It's like this is not the most complicated thing in the world to explain. Like
yeah,
it's literally like you just you just do it and you know move on. So I mean there are other things. So let's do a couple more.
okay,
All right, so here's an f of x and here's a g of x. I want you to find f over g of -1. So this means f of -1 divided by g of -1.
okay.
Give that a try, please.
All right, so cube and -1, -1. Look at g -2. Okay, I think I did it right. Oh. Okay, so I got -1 over 9.
Okay, very good. All right, let's do another one here. All right, so here are the two functions. Now the order can change. Like I can have you do g over f of -1, which means g of -1 over f of -1.
Okay.
Is that kind of clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Could
right.
you
So,
calculate this for us, please?
yeah. So g -1, so -4 plus 2. Is it a 2.1? Or no, sorry, it's
No,
a
no, that's
bracket.
sorry. Yeah, that's a bad snip on my part.
I don't know. Okay. Um, so it should be -2. -2. F of -1, 2, 2 plus -5. -3. So -4. Okay, so I got -2 over -4, which I think you can reduce to just 1/2.
You can, and that was part of the point of this one is you should reduce if you can. All right, good job. Any questions on those four function operations before we move to the more complicated ones?
Yeah, I'm good, I think.
Famous last words. I got it. All right. You probably do. All right. So let's look at let's go to a new problem here. So the next one that they show you is what's called composition. And I'm going to give you two functions again. And the notation looks like this. It'll say g of h of a. Okay. And what this means, it means you're first going to find, and let me actually put a number in here. Let's go we'll go -1 here again. H of -1. So you first do the inside function. You evaluate it.
Yeah.
Could you evaluate for h of -1 for us, please? You did this in a previous problem.
Okay. Um, so this is a little weird.
Just h of -1. That's all I want you to do.
So it would be like one bracket 3a
Nope.
minus 3, and then the inside
3
bracket
times
would be your
-1 minus 3. You're just putting 3 in for a, or -1 in for a, sorry. You're just evaluating this function at -1.
Okay. Uh, so -6.
Okay. You take that becomes the input to the other function. Could you calculate g of -6 for us, please?
Yeah. Um, -13.
-13, good. So that's the second thing. All right, let's try another one. So the notation you'll see is you'll see something like this f bubble g of like -1. Okay.
Okay.
And this bubble, you can call it a circle or whatever, but it's not a dot. It's not a multiplication. It's easy to get confused. If you look back, we go back to the one couple we did, we're multiplying. See, I sort of fill in the dot there and fill in the dot there. It's a little smaller, a little smaller. The bubble is very it's very clear that hey, this is not multiplication. So this means f of g of -1. And so first you find the inside function. You figure out what is g of -1.
Okay. Um. -1.
Okay. You take that, and that becomes the input to the other one. Then you find f of -1.
Okay. -6.
-6, good. Okay. Very good. So next here. So this problem is like the ones we've been doing, but they're giving you kind of the condensed notation. So you're first going to find f of 2, and whatever that number is, whatever you find for that, that's going to go in there. And the idea is that the output becomes the input to the next one.
Okay.
So first find f of 2, then we'll find g of whatever.
Um, 8 plus 9. So 13.
Okay, so now you're going to find g of 13.
Okay. 13 times uh 39 plus
Okay,
30. Wait, so
plus 2,
30.
plus
Yeah,
2,
41. Sorry.
41. Good. All right, so another
Mm,
problem here. A lot of worksheet practice today.
mm.
This is a good kind of starter. It's like doing drills, fundamentals. So this notation here, G bubble H of 2, G bubble H of 2, that's composition. That means G of H of 2. So what do you find first?
You should find, well, between what the, so
What did
H,
we,
sorry.
yeah, what did we find first in all the previous problems?
Yeah, the inside thing.
The inside function. So what is H of 2?
H of 2, let's see, 1.
Okay, so that becomes the input to the other one.
Okay. And 2, so 5.
All right, good. I think you're starting to get this. Couple more examples, then we'll move on to some other stuff. All right, here we go. So let's say I give you this, and I want you to find g of f of -2. Go ahead and calculate that for us, please. I'm just going to grade your final answer.
Okay.
Let me know what you come up with.
Yeah. Uh, let's see. So 4. -6.
That's your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. So f of -2 is parentheses -2 squared plus 3 times -2, which is 4 minus 6, which is -2. Does that match up with what you have?
Yeah.
All right. And then the rest of it is the same. G of -2. 2 times -2 minus 2 is -6. Very good. Final question on this topic here. Doing really well on this. Go ahead and give that a try, please.
Okay. This is weird though. So I know we just did one, but it's like you would find H first, right?
Yes. H of
Okay.
what number?
-4.
Yeah.
Uh, 3. 3, 6. So 8.
Your final answer is 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so h of -4 is -2 times -4 minus 5. That ends up being 8 minus 5, which is 3. And then g of 3 is 2 times 3 plus 2, which is 8. Very good. All right, you got it down.
All
Got
right.
it down. Now, in full disclosure, we only did the numerical examples. Numerical examples are all easier. They're all numbers. You're used to evaluating with numbers. The next part's more difficult because it's functions, letters only, no numbers. But any thoughts before we proceed?
Nope. I'm good.
Okay, so it's
Ready?
kind of a rinse and repeat situation. We're going to do the same thing with the four operations, but we're going to do them now with functions.
Okay.
All right, so let's take a look here. Not the most exciting topic, but that is what we have in front of us. Okay, so I'm going to give you these two functions. And this time it's going to be like, what is f of x plus g of x? So you're literally just adding the equations together. All right, I got it. You're adding them together. Sorry, there should be a plus sign right there. You're like, okay, I'm done. But there's usually some work to do here. Usually it's going to say something like, and simplify. In this case, simplify means to combine like terms. Do you see any like terms?
Uh, yeah, the 8 and the -12 and the 3x and the 2x.
Okay, so what does it combine to?
Um, 5x minus 4.
Good. All right, now let's do the same problem here again. This time we're going to do f of x minus g of x. So this is what it looks like. 3x plus 8 is f of x minus, in parentheses, 2x minus 12. You might say, well, hey, Matthew, well, what about the previous problem? Why didn't we put the one in parentheses in the previous problem? Well, when you're adding, the adding doesn't change the sign, but this negative does. That's why you got to put it in parentheses because you're really subtracting everything. You're not just subtracting the first term. So you have to remember to distribute that negative to both. So minus 2x plus 12, 3x plus 8. What does this simplify to when you combine like terms?
Um, x plus 20.
Okay, very good. So just to see if you've got it here, let's try another one here. Let's have you do g of x minus f of x, please, which is not the same as the previous problem. The order does matter.
Okay. um, it would be 2x minus 12 minus 8 negative x minus 4. So negative x minus 4.
Okay, so then the next one that you might see is where it says f of x times g of x. And so this time they're in parentheses like this because you're multiplying the whole thing. You're treating them as an entity. Um, do you remember how to simplify something like this? Two binomials multiplied times each other?
Um, I mean, could you FOIL it?
Yes, you have to foil. Do you want to try foiling that or do you need some help on this one?
I think I can do it. Would it
Okay.
be 6x for the first like 3x times 2x, right?
Squared.
Squared. Okay, the
Yep.
squared gets me a little bit. Um, Minus 36x plus 16x. Um, and this one is minus whatever 8 times 12 is. So 96. Yeah, okay, yeah, you just did it. Got it. Whoops.
Can you combine like terms? Any like terms that you can combine there?
Yeah. Actually, no.
You can typically combine the O and the
Oh,
I.
except for the main two, sorry. Um, let's see, that would be hold up, am I doing this right? Negative 20?
Anything else?
Yeah, minus 96. Wait, 20x.
Yes, there you
Sorry.
go.
What the heck?
Okay. Any thoughts on that?
Um, I mean, that seems pretty simple, just like sort of an extra step to everything, but I don't know
This is
if it's.
all stuff you've seen before. Not maybe
Yeah,
not this week, but like you know how to add
yeah,
on like terms, you know how to foil. Maybe you just haven't done it in a while.
yeah.
Okay. But wait, there's more. Okay. Um, we're going to do the division one, f of x over g of x. This is 3x plus 8 over 2x minus 12 and call it a day. Okay. There's no simplifying that can be done. There's implied parentheses in the numerator and denominator.
Okay. All right.
Questions, thoughts on that?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Do a couple more here. How does what we're doing compare to what you see in class?
Well, it's mostly like I recognize some of the stuff, so it's pretty similar stuff. It's just like it's just harder to like it. Maybe it's like me. It's just a lot harder, like when we're going over all of this in at once with the teacher, like to understand, because he'll put like 5 problems on the board and they'll, like 5 different sort of differences in them, like the ones that we've been doing, but it's like it's just hard to figure it all out, try to figure it all out and connect it at
Sure,
once.
sure, that makes sense. Makes sense. All right, I'm going to change this to 3x here to keep that in mind. Um, so I'd like you to first find f of x plus g of x for me, please.
Okay. Write this. Um, so 3x minus 1. Uh, it should be just the 3x's cancel. So it's -3 plus 2x squared.
Like this. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
There is a mistake here. You want to take a look at it one more time, or you want me to show you?
Uh, just show me because I don't know.
All right, so it's 3x minus 1 plus 2x squared minus 3x. You said the right things. You said the 3x's cancel.
Yeah.
So to me, that's like they're gone. What's left over?
Negative 1 plus 2x squared. I think I accidentally said negative 3, but um,
All right,
I don't
that's
know.
fine. So let's add in here. Let's add in that now I'm going to also give you an h of x. All right, so now find g of x minus h of x for me, please.
Okay. D of x. So 2x minus 3x. So is it 2x squared minus 10x?
And last one for this grouping. Actually, we'll do a couple here. Let's do f of x times h of x. This is 3x minus 1 times 7x. So there's no FOIL this time. You just multiply that 7x into both.
Okay. Um, so just 21x squared minus 7x.
Good. And then let's do h of x over f of x. What does that become?
Um, be 7x over 3x minus 1.
Very good. Yeah, questions, thoughts on that?
Uh, I don't think so, no. I don't know why, like, I guess you wouldn't simplify it if there's a 7x over 3x, you know?
There's implied parentheses. Okay, that didn't make any sense to you, so let's try a different example. Let's go 3 over 6 plus 3. Okay, this
Okay.
is 3 over 9, or 1/3. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Let's say we applied Bizarro rules. What is 3 over 6?
1/2.
Okay, and maybe we'll apply some more Bizarro rules. What is 3 over 3?
1.
Okay, now what are you going to do?
With what?
Well, you wanted to make up some rules here. I'm trying to show you like that we can't just do that. We can't just make up
Okay, okay.
our own rules.
You
Like
can't just
you
add them together and.
well,
Okay.
this in this example, you can add the bottom because the bottom is inside parentheses,
Okay.
but you can't like start making up like your own ideas about this. There's this episode of Seinfeld where they call it like Bizarro Jerry and Bizarro George, and um, you see this in other, where we just start like having these like rules that are very obscure. We can't do that. So
Okay.
um, now, when can stuff cancel? Let's look at this the other way. Let's say it's 2 plus 4 divided by 2, which we know is 6 over 2, which is 3. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Here's what is allowed. Division is not a choice, it's shared, meaning both of these numbers have to get divided by that. Now, what is 2 divided by 2?
4 divided by 2? Or,
2 divided by 2.
oh, 1.
And then 4 divided by 2.
2.
Does that work?
Yeah.
So division, you have to give them both to that. Now, in this previous example, 3 over 3 plus 6, it, this is the equivalent. This 3 plus 6 is the equivalent of like a 2. You have to give it to both of these.
Okay.
So let's look at an even more obscure example. Let's say we want to do 3 plus 9 over 3 plus 6. This is really 3 over 3 plus 6 plus 9 over 3 plus 6. That works. Because you're giving both the top get the bottom.
Okay.
Maybe that was more than you wanted. Okay. Um, let's try another one here. Okay, let's try. All right, let's do composition. Let's say f of x is 2x minus 1, and g of x is, that's really bad. G of x is negative 4x plus 3. And this time we want to find f of g of, so this is composition.
Okay.
Okay. So this says, what this means is you take the inside function and you put it in for x. So this is
Okay.
2 times negative 4x plus 3 minus 1.
Okay.
Now, with that 2 on the outside, what can we do with that? What is
Distribute
allowed
it.
when you have a number on? Yeah, distribute that in. So boom, boom. What does that become on the end? What does that become when you distribute?
Let's see. Negative 8. Negative 8x plus 6 minus 1.
Okay, does that reduce?
Negative 8x plus 5.
Very good. Now, it can also go the other direction. So this time, we're going to find g of f of x. So now you start with f of x, the inside function. Notice you always start with the inside function. You put it in for x. So this becomes negative 4, 2x minus 1 plus 3. Will you simplify that for us, please?
Yeah. Let's see. So negative 8x. So it would be negative 8x plus 7.
Thanks. Very good. Okay, great. So in terms of your worksheet, uh, we I know we got a lesson tomorrow. One got scheduled. It looks like they want you to list transformations. Like that's the first thing.
Yeah.
And then I guess there's some graphing stuff, and behavior, average. I don't know. This worksheet is all over the place, truthfully. Like I don't really know where the instructor's going. Kind of that last part is probably the most useful for us. Even, odd, or neither. Um, could certainly tackle that some more tomorrow. But
Okay.
good job today. You did a lot of problems. We don't need to do 4 hours of practice.